I think we got one.
So if I die,
I ain't finna tell you how I got away with this shit.
Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. Times get really hard, and I try to let me plead my heart, not die. I need you, Lord, is my friend. That will forgive me for my same old sin. But I need you, Lord, once again. Be there for my falling friend. You know the Lord always wins. Number one. I bet my very last on Him and win. But then there is all kinds of sin. Temptation in us all within. Times get really hard, and I try.
come on.
So let me plead my heart when I die. I need you. Let me plead the blood. I was a thug, spent half of my life trying to make it out the mud. My heart laced with grub, hard drugs and sentence, grinning in the police face, serving the sentence. Inches away from doing hard time, but if you think I care, I knew the Lord was gonna get a nigga out of there. I took the crime from the prime, started singing my song, got everybody singing along. But you know that times get really hard, and I try. Let me plead my heart when I die. Lord, change my way.
Lord help.
So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. Times get really hard, and I try. So let me plead my heart when I die.
Change my way. I mean, you know I believe.
If I die today, it's okay. I need you.
Lord, change my ways.
See, I think we got one.
So if I die,
I ain't finna tell you how I got away with this shit.
Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. Times get really hard, and I try to let me plead my heart when I die. I need you, Lord, is my friend. That will forgive me for my same old sin. But I need you, Lord, once again. Be there for my falling friend. You know the Lord always wins. us all within. Times get really hard and I try.
Come on.
So let me plead my heart when I die. I need you. Let me plead the blood. I was a thug, spent half of my life trying to make it out the mud. My heart lays.
Subscribe, 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 subscribe. Subscribe to Part Twice and Rude Exposure. Because you know they're going to shadow ban me. They have been doing it for a very long time. So hit the like button and subscribe. You know the vibe. The most shadow banned nigga on YouTube. I say the things that other YouTube guys don't say, wish they could say, glad that I'm saying, but when they get on their channel, they denounce what I say as wrong. And I meant what I said when I said what I said. I said it again like I said it again, because ain't no shame in my game. I do my thing from Frisco to Maine, from San Fran to Japan. It's all about the money game with me. But just because it's about the money game don't mean I can't bring the truth. And the reason I say it's about the money game because we need money to support the channel. And if you don't send the money, I can't do the research and take the time off from work because I'm gonna have to go to work. Now I got to pay these bills, and that's just the way the world is. Money don't run you, but the money runs the world. So you have to be in accordance. So I appreciate the criticism and the people saying I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm talking about, but we are doing this for understanding. It's called Bible study. You study and you ask God to give you discernment, and that's what I'm doing now because the Bible talks in parables. But like the song said, man, I'm trying to change my ways. So don't criticize me, don't hate, participate, but I'd rather for you to donate. Cash App Part Twice. PARTTWICE. Simple and plain. You're gonna see a nigga with 2 fingers holding up with my tattoo on it. Alright? So, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. What language are we speaking? What language do you speak? Are you bilingual? Where are you from? Are you firing up and smoking to this? Are you having your midday drink to this? It doesn't really matter because it all goes to the spirit, the soul. And this is all that matters. Don't judge nobody. Just take your own peace and know that you're a good person and that you're not evil. But also recognize you do have the blood of Cain inside your body. All of us. We are all brothers. No matter who you think you are, what color you are, what race you are, what religion you are, we are all brothers because we all started from root. They say we started from Adam, Eve, and the snake, the serpent. And if you go back to my Bible studies, you'll see the original sin was the serpent. And you say, well, how would you translate the serpent having a child with Eve? I'm gonna explain this because I really don't like going back and reading stuff for guys when they have the video to go watch themselves. But a quick summary. Nobody knows, like my mother said, the Bible talks in parables. But nobody knows what the actual original sin was. But to curse a creature or whatever it is to be on his belly, he had to be first upright. And if you don't believe the Bible, then you don't believe there were gods that walked the earth and had children from mortal women. So just tear that out the Bible. So, for the 3 curses that were given in the beginning of the Bible, the first 3 curses that were given, the first curse was to the snake for what he had done to Eve. What had he done to Eve? He tricked her. He beguiled her. Whatever that sin was.
I ain't finna tell you how I got away with this shit.
But to curse someone to be on their belly and crawl on their belly to the ends of time as a punishment meant that he was upright, standing erectus as like a human. Like I said, we had dinosaurs. That was proven. They're trying to say we got UFOs and aliens out there, but that's already understood. Who's to say there weren't different types of men back then? Because remember the chronological order, right? He made the earth, then he put the water and the fish. He created them first. Then he created the night stars to light up the night and the sun to light up the day. And that's how the script goes or whatever. Then he made the hills and he made the birds and then he made man. But after he made man, he said that man should not be alone. And people think that he made woman after that, but no. God made the beast of the earth after he made man. And when I mean beast of the earth, dogs, dog is man's best friend, cats, bears, lions, tigers, bears, monkeys, oh my. Then he made woman because he seen those creatures would not suffice. Okay? So when he made woman, he took a rib from man, but he gave Adam what? Dominion over everything in the land, including his woman, because why? He said so. And he named her Eve. Adam did. He gave Adam the permission to name everything on this earth. That's why we have names for everything. And that was the original language, whatever language Adam spoke. So, here we go. You have a couple now. They don't know each other. They're exploring their bodies. But that's not the only creatures. He made beasts of the earth before he made woman. So, God said man was not meant to be alone. So when he started creating beasts of the earth, maybe he made something similar to man, almost identical, with like snake-like tendencies. Like I said, he put gods on earth. When people say Christianity, you have to say Islam, you have to say Judaism, you have to say Buddhism. There were different gods. Who's to say your God is the God? There are gods. I choose to praise one God. There are many gods, many prophets. But we go by the Bible and we say they're beasts of the earth. What's a beast? Men call themselves beasts when they do something good in sports or in the bedroom. Beast of the earth. Snake-like men. Aliens. God-like creatures walking the earth with high intelligence. Tricking a poor little beguiled girl into things that she never knew about her body or whatever it is she never knew about and thought it was not good to partake in. Something like that goes on every day in America. So you shouldn't do that to man. She's just a girl, she gonna fall, but all you gotta do is talk sweet to her. Treat her good, she gonna do what you want, right? That's what happened to Eve. The first seduction. This is just my interpretation, I can be wrong. But whatever happened in that garden, my belief, production, a product of Cain. And the fact that Cain was evil and killed his brother, let it be known that something was wrong with Cain. And I just see that the bloodline from Cain stopped the bloodline from Abel. But there had to be two bloodlines, right? So God gave another child to Adam and Eve, a full-blooded child like Abel, but his name was Seth. So now we have Seth, a full-blooded baby, and the descendants of Seth. So you have Cain's descendants and Seth's descendants. Abel is dead, no descendants, no children. He was the little brother. Seth is the very little brother of Cain. And still no women are being born at this time. Only woman is Eve. So we have a lineage of men being born, and their sons had children. And they had daughters, which populated the earth. Because we had to reproduce with someone. And gods walked the earth and had children from the mortal women. Which you have to understand, like, just because an athlete is very good at something, it's always stand out guys, right? It's always not just athletic people with great minds that just stand out from other people. These are gods. And you have God inside you. But you have to read the Bible to understand that and not make fun of the brothers that call themselves gods. Because we are. Some have more than others. Some have traits of different bloodlines. And this is what I like to get into. I like to talk about these things. And understand that it all starts from the beginning. Now, when we get to good and evil, man, you have to understand that it's in everybody. Nobody is perfect. Even Jesus flipped the tables and lost his temper in the temple when he saw people gambling. All right? But way before Jesus was even thought about, there was Noah. And Noah was a man that God spared because he saw fit to keep his bloodline alive. Now Noah's bloodline, remember I said last week, his father was Lamech, a great man that lived 777 years. And he produced Noah. And Lamech was a powerful man, son of a god. And he said that if Cain is protected and anybody killed Cain, and his punishment for killing Cain is 7 times, guess what? If somebody to strike me or anything, the punishment is 77 times. So men were growing more and more powerful and more, wanting to be the man because of that Cain blood. And even though he's on the lineage of Seth as well. Ride with me now. Now, Seth was a religious man. He was a faithful man. He produced people that had musical talent, people that were good with their hands. Okay, so like I said, they produced Noah. Lamech produced Noah. Everybody knows about Noah and the ark. He had to build an ark to save him and his family and all the other species on the earth from destruction, because God said he was what? Sick of what he created. He said he was ashamed, he was mad that he created man. Because the gods on the earth were just tyrants, making children, and these children growing up with these powers, and these minds, and these talents, and using it for destruction, because the human mind mixed with our God-like mind has a tendency to do anything that it can imagine. And whatever the mind can imagine, people want to do it, knowing it's not right. So he seen this, and he seen the way it was going. He had to destroy everything on earth, but he found favor in Noah. Why? Because he was from the lineage of Seth, and he found he was righteous. Throughout all the wickedness, he was not partaking in none of that. So he saved his family and his bloodline. But remember, the bloodline is always Cain and Seth mixed together, because the men were born first and then the daughters. So they had to mix and mingle with each other. It was the first time for everything, and that was the first time. And after that, we separated. But we're not getting into that yet, because I'm not even at the chapter yet. I'm doing a recap from 1 to last week. Okay. So they on the boat, and people didn't believe Noah. If you know the story, they're like, man, you ain't finna flood out, man. They ain't gonna flood. You tripping, man. You finna build. Look at this nigga building the boat. And you ain't. Hey, fuck it. It's just me and my family. Anyway, with the animals. Remember, the animals coincided with each other back then, because while we were all vegetarians, God instructed us to eat from the trees in the land. And no animal and no lion were killing each other. You can sleep with a lion back then. The gods on the earth were incredible. There was no... Listen, why do you think man is the only one ashamed of having sex in public? But not a dog, not a bear, not an elephant, not nothing. A cat or pork right in front of them. Because they had no shame. The sin and the curse was on man. Before man had the curse of Eve, Eve's curse, we were all walking around naked. We were all doing whatever in no shame. Dogs have no shame. Okay, so they'll see a dog, you walking your dog, and you walking, and she walking her dog. Your dog might start running over there and hunching on that dog in front of everybody. And you're like, oh, get your dog. So you have to understand that. But when he built the ark, he put all the animals, the species, 7 of each kind sometimes. You know, that's why you have so many different types of species. They all branch out and make different and evolve, but that's what it started with, the 7 and the 2. Okay, so some animals didn't get that many species brought on the boat. You have to imagine the type of species of animals back then. Not the same as now. I'll be having to check my security camera. I have to use the block. But yo, different species back then that were mythical, like the movies, right? You see the dragons, you know. So, and over the centuries they evolved. Some extinct, some we don't know. Maybe they're in the ocean. Certain parts of the ocean we'll never be able to travel. There's too much of it. So, and the further down you go, you can never go to the bottom. You can never go to the bottom of the deepest of the ocean, not without dying. So we had these species saved, and when the floods subsided, Noah stayed on the boat for at least 2 years. So what were they doing while they were on the boat? They were fucking. A man is not meant to be alone. These families had to reproduce and populate the earth after that, because those are the only people that were living. Everybody else was destroyed. Okay? And when he got off the boat, God instructed Noah to make a sacrifice of all the 4-legged beasts. and burned them completely. And that's what he did. And as he was burning them, God said it was pleasing to his nose. And if it's pleasing to God's nose, that means it's pleasing to everybody's nose. And it's waking everybody up to the scent of the flesh. So when you see an Oriental eating dog, cat, you can't blame them because it's meant to be. The lions smelled the meat. They smelled themselves, their own kind being burned. The dogs, the bears, the whatever meat people eat. People eat anything, and animals will too. And God instructed us, say, this now you can eat. I give you permission to eat whatever you want to eat. It's in the Bible. What should be and what is. What it is that we can eat and do whatever we want to do because God gave us free will. But what we should be is a vegetarian and eat from the earth. But we're not going to go into that because that's a whole nother lie. Right? So now these families are intermingling on the earth now. We sent the dove out and it never came back after a couple of tries because now he found a place to habitat, make his family. And Noah seemed fit to step off the boat. And so what is he stepping off the boat with? A family, with animals that, after the sacrifice, are now hunting each other. And we hunt. That shit smells good too. God knew what was going to happen. So he promised us that he would never destroy the earth again by flood. And when he said that, he gave us a promise by a rainbow. Every time you see a rainbow in the sky, that's God's covenant saying that he would never destroy the earth by flood again. I remind you, he gave us free dominion to do whatever now. That's not to say that we won't destroy the earth ourselves. Okay? But he won't do it by flood. He didn't say by fire or by alien invasion or self-destruction. So here we go. We separate. Some stay, some leave. Families are on their own now. People are living for a long time, so they see their generations after generations after generations grow. The diet was very strict back then. The lives of people started shortening after the eating of meat. And some of the old timers, like today, still follow the old ways. And they live longer than their youth. And Noah lived, I think, I want to say 800 to 900 years. Tear it out the Bible if you don't believe it. People were healthier back then because they were eating only one ingredient food. Noah's son partake in the meat eating, and their families after that partake in the meat eating. So why not? Let's not burn it all the way this time. Just right. Yeah, that's it. Lions kill. We don't need to burn nothing. I don't like the way it smells. We got people that go to restaurants that want their meat rare. Just put it on there, burn it 10 seconds on this side, 20 seconds on that side. Split it down the middle and serve it to me raw. Cannibals. People survive in the snow. Eat people's flesh to survive. They made it seem like Africans were cannibals. We used to boil people in pots, but it's the other way around. Our diet, the African diet. You go to Africa and men are eating meat, but the old days, before the slave days, what were we eating? We were not eating what the Europeans were eating, because there's different continents, different food choices. Certain foods and fruits and vegetables are indigenous to certain lands. Okay? But what do? We have to partake in whatever is given to us, because that's what a child is. A child grow up eating pork because his mama grew up eating pork. If you grew up in a Muslim family, you despise pork. And be laughing at people that eat pork chops. And the people that eat pork chops be laughing at you, talking about, I don't know what the hell wrong with you. Pork chop good, give me some hot sauce. Here's what it is. Who's to say who's wrong? Who's to say who's right? I'm going to hell because I believe in Jesus. And you're going to heaven because you believe in Allah. Or flip it around. There's a higher power. That's all you should know. Something greater than you. Other life forms out there that are thinking the same thing we're thinking. Maybe more advanced, maybe less primitive, maybe both. Trying to figure it out. I'm on the side of knowledge. So, here we go. Where we leave off last week. Okay? It's established we got the blood of Cain and we had to repopulate the earth. Alright? The blood of gods. And Noah was born. And he saved his family and had to sacrifice people eating meat, doing whatever they want to. And Noah started cultivating the earth. And we all know what cultivating means. You can cultivate weed. You can cultivate wine, grapes, anything that is from the earth, you can cultivate it and make it into another form. And they say Noah in the Bible was cultivating the grape, the vineyards, and got drunk off of some wine that he made. And his son, Ham, did a thing to him. The thing, like my mother said, the Bible talks in parables, so you have to be careful, son. Don't lead the people astray. But what is the thing? If I'm drunk, and mind you, we eat one ingredient foods back then, so our body ain't used to no liquor. When I drink this and I'm drunk, I pass out. And my son walks in, sees me, and uncovers me. Because the Bible said he was uncovered, naked. And take my clothes off while I'm passed out drunk and do a thing to me. The thing I don't know. So after you do the thing to me, you go outside and tell your brothers what. Come here, look at this. I don't know what you told, but your brothers didn't want to see that. So they walk in backwards with the blanket and cover Noah. When Noah wakes up from the drunken stupor, he knows the thing that you did to me, Ham. And he don't curse you because you're my son. But I will curse your son, which is Canaan. And Canaan's children will be servants to everybody else. Who's a servant to everybody else? We are. But they excuse this for slavery. That was some people's scholars' excuses for why we were slaves. But think about this. Whatever that thing was that he did, these are certain type of people. You can have 3 children, and 2 of your children can go to college, and 1 can just be in the penitentiary on drugs. Maybe a murderer. If you still love them, it's your people. Or you can have 2 uncles. One of them is a preacher and one is a wino. And every time y'all see him, you got to take his bottle from him because he get drunk and he just black out and just start doing a lot of dangerous things, harming himself and other people. To say that the curse of Ham or Canaan changed our color is fraudulent. Because you have to remember we were all black. So just because you curse somebody don't mean you curse their skin color. Because you gotta remember, there were half-breeds back then anyway. Because who? Cain, as I believe, was a half-breed. The first child born was a half-breed. That's just my belief. He killed Abel, a full breed. And Seth was born after another full breed. So the mixing of cultures made different colors of people back then. Now, yeah, coastal people, people that lived in the desert, they traveled after the families left the boats. But we all spoke the same language. Key note, we all still spoke the same language. And like I said, we had the blood of Cain in us back then. So you still have people that are evil people. Starting over, building up tyrants, people that went on and wanted to start their own land, just like Cain had to. Build all kind of territories, separated themselves. First separation was the boat, and after he cursed his son, the son. Now his son is having sons. So that's where we leave off, and let's get right into it. All right, because right here, Genesis chapter 11, and the whole earth was of one language and one accent and mode of expression. And as they journeyed eastward, they found a plain, a valley in the land of Shinar, and they settled and dwelt there. And they said one to another, "Come, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." So they had brick for stone and slime and mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build us a city and tower whose top reaches into the sky. And let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered over the whole earth." And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And now nothing they have imagined they can do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and there confound, mix up, confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from the place upon the face of the earth, and they gave up building the city. Therefore the name of it was called Babel, because there the Lord confounded the languages of all the earth. And from the place the Lord scattered them abroad upon the face of the whole earth. This is the history of the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he became the father of Arphaxad, 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after Arphaxad was born 500 years, and they had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shelah, and they lived after Shelah was born, and the sons and daughters were born, and then they go on and so forth and so on. Now the histories of the descendants of Terah and the father Abram, Norah, and Haran is the father of Lot. And Haran died before the father Terah in the land of nativity. And Abram and Norah took them wives, and they named them Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife Maleah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Maleah, Isaiah. Okay. Now, the Lord said to Abram, "Go for yourself for your own language, for your own advantage, away from your country, from your relatives and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you with abundant increase of favors, and make your name famous and distinguished, and you will be blessed, dispensing good to others, and I will bless those who bless you, and confer prosperity or happiness upon you, and curse him who curses or uses insolent language towards you and all the families and kin of the earth be blessed by you. They will bless themselves. So Abram departed as the Lord had directed him, and Lot, his nephew, went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took Sarah, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the servants that they had acquired in Haran. And they went forth to go to the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land of the locals and Shechem to the oak, the tree of Morah, and the Canaanite was then in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, I will give this land to your posterity. So Abram built the altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. From there he pulled up his tent pegs and departed the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent in Bethel on the west and on the east, and there he built the altar to the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. Abram journeyed on, still going towards south. So he started going down south. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to live temporarily, for the famine in the land was oppressive, intense, and grievous. And when he was about to enter into Egypt, he said to Sarah his wife, I know that you are beautiful to behold. So when the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say, I beg of you, that you are my sister, so that it may go well with me for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. And when Abram came into Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. The princess of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And she was taken into Pharaoh's house, and the harem, and he treated Abram well for her sake. He acquired sheep, oxen, he-donkeys, men servants, maid servants, she-donkeys, and camels. But the Lord scourged Pharaoh and his household with serious plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife, take her and get away from here. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they brought him on his way with his wife and all that he had. So Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, Lot with him, into the south. Now Abram was extremely rich in livestock and in silver and gold, and he journeyed on from the south country of Judah as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, where he had built the altar at first. And Abram called on the name of the Lord. But Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to nourish and support them, so they could dwell together, for their possessions were too great for them to live together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Pezerites were dwelling with them in the land, making fodder and difficult to live with. So Abram said to Lot, let there be no strife, I beg you, between you and me, between your herdsmen and herdsmen, for we are relatives. It's not a whole land before you. Separate yourself, I beg of you, from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If you choose the right, then I will go left. And Lot looked and saw that everywhere the Jordan Valley was well watered before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It was all like the garden of the Lord in the land of Egypt as you go to Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley and traveled east. So they separated. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of Jordan Valley and moved his tents as far as Sodom and dwelt there. But the men of Sodom were wicked and exceedingly great sinners against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram after Lot had left him, lift up now your eyes and look from the place you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see I will give you and your posterity forever. And I will make you descendants like the dust of the earth. So that if a man could count the dust on the earth, then could your descendants also be counted. Arise, walk through the land, the length of it and the breadth of it, for I will give it to you. Then Abram moved his tent and came and dwelt among the oaks, which are Hebron, and built there an altar for the Lord. So he chose his path. He thought it was all good over there, right? Because he seen the water after he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, it's still nice. He had the water over there. Let's get where the water is. But the people over there from Sodom are still wicked. Yeah. Sodom and Gomorrah, remember that? Yeah. Destroyed that. Turned them to salt. So he chose where he went because Abram's like, yo, this one bedroom apartment, man, you got too much shit, I got too much shit, you gotta go. You know, we blood, we family. Everybody's family back then. And you seen the deceit he made his girl do. We got the blood of Canaan in us, man. I mean, the blood of Cain in us. We can't help it. Because out of the fear of being killed, he made his girl lie to a Pharaoh and say that that's my sister. How many of y'all done did that before? Especially you pimps. I'm like, man, it's just my cousin. Or lie to your girl, that's just my cousin. Why she in your car? Oh, that's my cousin, girl. You know. But yo, he did that because he thought he was gonna die. And he probably was right. But the way that the Pharaoh took the girl in his harem, you know what a harem is, that's a whole bunch of prostitutes. But she was so pretty that he wanted to make her his girl, right? That caused a famine on his land. And people were dying, right? And he didn't know why. Voodoo. God didn't like that, right? So he caused a famine on Pharaoh. And Pharaoh found out why. And he's like, damn, now I'm scared to do something to this nigga. Because this nigga got the power of God killing my people. He's powerful, man. You gotta go, man. Why you didn't tell me this was your girl? A lot of niggas die like that, right? To this day. You hitting somebody's girl, and ain't nobody tell you this so-and-so girl, and you die. So, like, say you messing with this chick, and you don't know her, man. But she ain't telling you she got a nigga, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you fucking her. Excuse my French. And now you find out her dude is a stone cold lunatic. So you go to her like, why you ain't tell me this your man? I wouldn't have been messing with you, man. There's too much going on with you. No, get out of here, beat it. People don't tell people that the lies. People feel like they're necessary lies to tell. And it's true. If you want to travel through a certain neighborhood, you can't just tell them motherfuckers unless you don't care about dying that you a whoever killer. Unless it's tattooed on your face and they know what you are. It's not safe, it's not healthy. So that is what happened. And like I said, people moved on. So let's read on. Yeah, kings in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, let's talk about all the places where These
I
guys
ain't finna tell
inhabit
you how
it.
I got away with this shit.
And then you can be like, man, that's kind of like my neighborhood. Because that's the way it is. And that's the way it's always been. Right? So hold on. Let me get this. You know I can't roll. I be trying to roll. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let me, I'm nervous because I'm on camera. Hold on. People don't read Genesis because they feel like it's not a sexy chapter. It's the most interesting chapter you'll ever read. It's the most interesting book in the Bible to me, other than Revelations. You know, because of the characters and what happened, and the chronological order of things, and why we are the way we are. So let's talk about the valley of Siddim was full of slime, pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. They fell, overthrown, and the remainder of the kings fled to the mountains. The victors took the wealth of Sodom and Gomorrah and departed. And they also took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods away from him. So Lot got robbed. He got robbed. Took his bitches, all kind of shit. Excuse my friend. The one who had, the victors took the wealth of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they also took Lot, Abram's brother's son, and dwelt in Sodom, and the goods away from him. And one who had escaped came and told Abram, the Hebrew, one from the other side, who was living by the oaks, a brother of Eshol and Abner. They were allies of Abram. When Abram heard this, his nephew had been captured. He armed, trained servants born in his own house, and pursued the enemy as far as Dan. These his kids, other women maybe, born in his own house. Everybody can. You ever seen a nigga related to everybody in the city? Oh, that's my cousin. It's one of them niggas. Well, everybody was like that back then. Everybody like that now just don't know it. Everybody kin to somebody, and you walk by them every day, but you just don't know it. More so in America than anywhere, because of, you know, the small area that we live in and the slavery. So we populated and migrated all throughout this great country.
Gee, I think we got one.
So remember that.
I ain't finna tell you how I got
All
away
right,
with
so
this shit.
he divided the forces against the night and the servants, and they attacked and routed them and pursued them. And he brought back all the goods and brought back his kinsmen, Lot and his possession, the women also and the people. He brought back the women, Lot, everybody, all his kinfolk. Alright. After Abram returned from the defeat and slaying of Chalaman, the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley. The king of Salem, later called Jerusalem, brought out bread and wine for the nourishment. He was the priest of God Most High. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed, favored with the blessing, made blissful, joyful, be Abram by God Most High, possessor and maker of heaven and earth, and blessed, praised, and glorified be God Most High, who was giving your foe into your hand." And Abram gave him a tenth of all he had taken. And the priest was pimping way back then. All you had to do was say, blessed you. Give me 10%. Chill out. I'm just observing what happened. Abram gave him a tenth of all he had taken. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the persons and keep the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand and sworn to the Lord God Most High, the possessor, maker of heaven and earth, that I would not take a thread or a shoelace or anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. Take all except only what my young men have eaten, and share of the men, allies, who went with me. Let them take their portion. After these things, the word of the Lord came, and Abram in vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am your shield, your abundant compensation, and your reward will be exceedingly great. And Abram said, Lord God, what can you give me, since I am going on from this world, childless, and who shall be the owner and heir of my house and steward? And Abram continued, look, you have given me no child, and a servant born in my house. So he had no children. Abram had no children. Lot had children. You have given me no child, a servant born in my house, and is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, this man shall not be your heir, but he who shall come from your own body shall be your heir. And he brought him outside his tent into the starlight, and said, look now towards the heaven and count the stars. If you are able to number them, then he said to him, shall your descendants be. And he, Abram, believed and trusted and relied on, remained steadfast on the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteous, right standing on God. And he said to him, I am the same, Lord, who brought you out to earth to give you this land as an inheritance. But he, Abram, said, Lord God, but what shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said to him, bring to me a heifer 3 years old, and a she-goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, and cut them down the middle into half, and laid each half opposite to each other. But the birds did not divide. And when the birds of prey swooped down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. When the sun was setting, a deep sleep overcame Abram, and a horror, a terror-shuddering fear, a great darkness assailed and oppressed him. And God said to Abram, no, positively your descendants will be strangers, dwelling as temporary residents in a land that is not theirs, Egypt, and they will be slaves. There will be afflicted and oppressed for 400 years. And God said to Abram, know positively that your descendants will be strangers, dwelling as temporary residents in a land that is not theirs, Egypt, and they will be slaves there, and will be afflicted and oppressed for 400 years. But I will bring judgment on that nation whom they will serve, and afterwards they will come out with great possessions. And you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation, they shall come back here to Canaan again, for the iniquity of the Amorites and is not yet full and complete. When the sun had gone down and a thick darkness had come on, behold, a smoking oven, a flaming torch passed between those pieces. And the same day the Lord made a covenant, promising pledge with Abram, saying, to your descendants I will have given this land, from the river of Egypt to great river Europe, and the land Europhats, and the land of Kenites, and all of these lands I can't pronounce, and the Amor and the Canaanites, and all these other lands. So now Sarah, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. She had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. And Sarah and Abram, see here, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. I am asking you to have intercourse with my maid. It may be that I can obtain children by her. And Abram listened to and heeded what Sarah said. So Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her Egyptian maid, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his secondary wife. And he had intercourse with Hagar, and she became pregnant. And when she saw that she was with child, she looked with contempt upon her mistress and despised her. Then Sarah said to Abram, the responsibility for my wrong and deprivation of rights be upon you. I gave my maid into your bosom, and when she saw that she was with child, I was contemptible and despised in her eyes. May the Lord be the judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarah, see here, your maid is in your hands and your power. Do as you please with her. And with Sarah dwelt severely with her, humbling and afflicting her. But the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in wilderness on the road of shore. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, where did you come from, and where are you intending to go? And she said, I am running away from my mistress. The angel of the Lord said to her, go back to your mistress and humbly submit to her control. Also the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants exceedingly, so that they shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord continued, see now you are with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, God hears, because the Lord has heard and paid attention to your affliction. And he, Ishmael, will be as a wild as among men. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he will live to the east and on the borders of kinsmen. So she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, you are a God of sin. For she said, have I not even here in the wilderness looked upon him who sees me and live? Or have I here also seen the future purpose of designs of him who sees me? Therefore the well was called Belohara, well to the living one who sees me. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son whom Hagar bore Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael. When Abram was 99, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am Almighty. Walk and live habitually before me in perfect, blameless, wholehearted, complete, and I will make my covenant, solemn pledge between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. Then Abram fell on his face, and God said to him, as for me, behold, my covenant, solemn pledge is with you, and you shall be the father of many nations. Nor shall your name any longer be Abram, high exalted father, but your name shall be Abraham, father of a multitude, for I have made you the father of many nations. And I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you throughout their generations for an everlasting solemn pledge to be a God to you and to your posterity after you. And I will give you to you and your posterity after the land in which you are a stranger going from a place to place, all the land of Canaan, for the everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said to Abraham, as for you, you shall therefore keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant, which you shall keep between me and you and your posterity after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token or sign of a covenant, the promise or pledge between me and you. He who is 8 days old among you shall be circumcised, every male throughout your generations, whether born in your house or brought in your money from any foreigner, not of your offering. He that is born in your house and he that is brought with your money shall be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for everlasting covenant. And the male who is not circumcised, the soul shall be cut off from the people. He has broken my covenant. And God said to Abraham, as for Sarah, your wife, you shall not call her Sarah, but Sarah, princess, her name shall be. And I will bless her and give you a son also by her. Yes, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall come from her. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a son? And he said to God, oh, that Ishmael might live before you. But God said, Sarah, your wife, shall bear you a son indeed, and you shall call his name Isaac, laughter. And I will establish my covenant or solemn pledge with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his posterity after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard and heeded you. Behold, I will bless him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He will be the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant, my promise and pledge I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you this next season, next year. And God stopped talking with him and went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all who were born in his house, and all who were brought with his money, every male among Abraham's house, and circumcised them the very same day as God said to him. And Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised, on the same day Abram was circumcised. And all the men of the house, both those born in the house and those bought with money from a foreigner, were circumcised along with him. So we had slaves way back then, and people try to blame and give excuses for slavery for Africa, but like, yo, that was just a job. You still work a job every day. When you go to work, you're a slave. You have to work to eat. You can't eat for free. Slave. So now that the Lord appeared to Abraham by the oak, as he set the door on the tent, the heat of the day, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men stood at the distance from him. He ran from the tent door to meet them and bowed himself to the ground, said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, do not pass by your servant, I beg you. Let a little water be brought, and you may wash your feet and recline and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a mouthful of bread to refresh and sustain your heart before you go further, for that is why you have come to your servant. And they replied, do as you have said. So Abraham hastened to the tent Sarah and said, quickly get ready 3 measures and a fine meal, kneaded and baked cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd and brought a calf and gave it to the young men to butcher. And Abraham hastened to prepare. And he took curd, milk, and calf, which he had made ready, and set it before the men, and stood by under the tree while they ate. And they said unto him, where is Sarah your wife? And he said, she is here. The Lord said, I will surely return to you when the season comes around. And behold, Sarah your wife will have a son. And Sarah was listening and heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in years, and it had ceased to be with Sarah as with young women. She was past the age of childbearing. Therefore Sarah laughed to herself, saying, after I have become aged, shall I have pleasure and delight, my Lord husband being also old? And the Lord asked Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I really bear a child when I am so old? Is anything too hard or too wonderful for the Lord? At the appointed time, when the season for her delivery comes around, I will return to you, and Sarah shall have borne a son. Then Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, no, but you did laugh. Accountability. The men rose up from there and faced toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on their way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham, my friend and servant? What am I going to do? Since Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed through him, and shall bless themselves by him. For I have known, chosen, acknowledged him as my own, so that he may teach and command his children and his sons of his house after him to keep the way of the Lord, and to do what is just and righteous, so that the Lord may bring Abraham what he has promised him. And the Lord said, because the shriek and the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is exceedingly grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether vilely and wickedly as the cry which he has come to me, and if not, I will know. Now the two men turned from there and went toward Sodom, and Abraham still stood before the Lord. And Abraham came close and said, will you destroy the righteous, those upright and in the right standing with God, there together with the wicked? Suppose there are in a city 50 righteous. Will you destroy the place and not spare it for the sake of 50 righteous in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as due for the wicked. Far as it be for you, shall not the judge of all the earth execute judgment and do righteously? And the Lord said, if I find in the city of Sodom 50 righteous, upright, and in right standing with God, I will spare the whole place for their sake. Abraham answered, behold, I who am but dust and ashes have taken upon myself to speak to the Lord. If 5 of the 50 righteous should be lacking, will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? He said, if I find 45, I will not destroy it. And Abraham spoke to him yet again and said, supposedly only 40 shall be found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And Abraham said to him, oh, let not the Lord be angry. I will speak again, suppose only 30 shall be found there. And he answered, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And Abraham said, behold, now I have taken upon myself to speak again to the Lord. Suppose only 20, and I will not destroy it for 20's sake, says the Lord. And he says, oh, let not the Lord be angry. I will speak again only this once. Suppose 10 righteous people shall be found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy it if it's only 10 people. And the Lord went his way, and he had finished speaking with Abraham. Abraham returned to his place. It was in the evening with the 2 angels came to Sodom. Lot was sitting at Sodom city gate, seeing them. Lot rose up to meet them and bowed to the ground. And he said, my Lord, turn aside, I beg of you, into your servant's house, and spend the night, and bathe your feet, then you can arise early and go on your way. But they said, no, we will spend the night in the square. Lot entreated and urged them greatly until they yielded, and with him entered his house, and he made them dinner with drinking and unleavened bread. But before they lay down, the men in the city, Sodom, both young and old, all men from every quarter, surrounded the house, and they called Lot and said, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know and be intimate with them. And Lot went out of the door to the men and shut the door after them, and said, I beg you, my brothers, do not behave so wickedly. Look now, I have 2 daughters who are virgins. Let me, I beg of you, bring them out to you, and you can do as you please with them, but only do nothing to those men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. But they said, stand back. And they said, this fellow came in to live here temporarily, and now he presumes to be our judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they rushed at and pressed violently against Lot, and came close to breaking down the door. But the men, the angels, reached out and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door after them. And they struck the men who were at the door of the house with blindness, which dazzled them, from the youth to the old men. So they worried themselves, groping to find the door. And the 2 men asked Lot, have you others here, sons-in-laws, and your sons or your daughters, whomever you have in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will spoil and destroy Sodom, for the outcry and the shriek against his people have grown great before the Lord, and he has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-laws, who were to marry his daughters, and said, up, get up out of this place, for the Lord will spoil and destroy this city. But he seemed to his sons-in-laws to be only joking. And when morning came, the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, arise, take your wife and 2 daughters who are here, and be off, lest you too be consumed and swept away in the iniquity and punishment of the city. But while he lingered, the men seized him and his wife and 2 daughters by the hand, for the Lord was merciful to him. And they brought him forth and set him outside the city and left him there. And when they had brought them forth, they said, escape for your life. Do not look behind you or stop anywhere in the whole valley. Escape to the mountains of Moab, lest you be consumed. And Lot said to them, oh, not that, my lords. Behold now, your servant has found favor in your sight, and have magnified your kindness and mercy to me in saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest the evil overtake and I die. See now yonder city, and the near enough to flee to, and the little one, and oh, let me escape to it, and my life will be saved. And the angel said to him, see, I have yielded to your entreaty concerning this thing also. I will not destroy this city of which you have spoken. Make haste and take refuge, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Therefore the name of anything until you arrive there, the name of the city is called Zor, little. The sun had risen over the earth when Lot entered Zor. And the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. He overthrew and destroyed and ended those cities and all the valley and inhabitants of the city and what grew on the ground. But Lot's wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Abraham went up early the next morning to the place where he only the day before had stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land in the valley, and saw, behold, the smoke in the country went up like smoke of furnace, And God ravaged and destroyed the cities of the plain and Siddim. He earnestly remembered Abraham, imprinted and fixed this indelibly on his mind. And he sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow when he overthrew the cities where Lot lived. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he lived in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. The elder said to the younger, O father, it's aging, and there is not a man on earth to live with us in the customary way. Come, let us make our father drunk with wine, and we will lie with him, so that we may preserve offspring for our race through our father. And they made their father drunk with wine that night. And the older went in and lay with her father, and he was not aware of it when she lay down, when she arose. Then the next day, the firstborn said to the younger, See here, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drunk with wine tonight also. Then you go in and lie with him, so that we may preserve offspring for our race through our father. And they made their father drunk with wine that night. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he was not aware of it. She lay down, or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The older bore a son and named him Moab, of a father, and is the father of the Moabites to this day. The younger also bore a son, named him Benami, son of people. He is the father of the Ammonites to this day. Wicked. Now Abraham journeyed toward the south country of Negev, and dwelt between Kadesh Shur and lived temporarily. And Abraham said to Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And King of God took Sarah into his harem. You know harem means a lot of women. And Abraham said to Sarah, he took her into the harem. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said, Behold, you are a dead man because of a woman whom you have taken as your own, for she is a man's wife. All right. But Amalek had not come near her. So he said, Lord, would you slay a people who are just and innocent? Did not the man tell me she is my sister? And she herself said, He is my brother. In integrity of heart and innocence of hands, I have done this. Then God said to him in a dream, Yes, I know you did this in integrity of your heart, for it was who I kept you back and spared you from sinning against me. Therefore I did not give you occasion to touch her. So now restore to the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not restore her to him, know that you shall surely die, and all who are yours. So Amalek rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told them all these things. And the men were exceedingly filled in reverence and fear. And Amalek called Abraham and said to him, What have you done to us? And how have I offended you that you have brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? You have done to me what ought not to be done to anyone. And Amalek said to Abraham, What did you see in us that justified you doing such a thing as that? And Abraham said, Because I thought surely there is no reverence or fear of God at all in this place, and they will slay me because of my wife. But truly she is my sister, and she is the daughter of my father, but not of my mother. And she became my wife. When God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, this kindness you can show me at every place we stop, say of me, he is my brother. And Amalek took sheep and oxen and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham and restored to him Sarah his wife. And Amalek said, behold, my land is before you. Dwell wherever it pleases you. And to Sarah he said, behold, I have given this brother of yours 1,000 pieces of silver. See, it is to compensate you for all that has occurred, to vindicate your honor before all who are with you, before all men you are cleared and compensated. So Abraham prayed to God and gave and healed Amalek with his wife and his female slaves and bore children. For the Lord had closed fast the wombs of all the Amalek household because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Hey, that was deep. I had to pause there because if I keep reading, it's only gonna get deeper. So we're gonna stop at 21, right? But let's go back over what just happened. Because think about what just happened. Oh God. Think about what I just read. Oh, okay. First of all, God had to separate the languages. They built a temple after the great floods so high up, thinking that was going to be a way to, if ever a flood came again, they would be able to survive. You had people that were tyrants back then that wanted to get their own land, have their own shit where everybody was speaking the same language. So they built the tower to be away from everybody else and be like God, you know? And God seen that and said, okay, so that's what this is. You can't touch me. We're gonna separate everybody. Now you can't understand nothing what's going on. People over here speak this way, boom. People over here speak this language, boom. Your people speak this language, boom. Now can't nobody understand nobody. It's like putting your hands over your ears. Everything is muffled now. You hear somebody, the more you press on your ears, the harder it is for you to hear. So when you hear people speaking Espanol, ¿qué lo que? ¿Qué permites que hablas así? Que tienes tantos problemas. If you black, you like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Same thing with a Mexican that hear a black man speak and don't know English. Me no speak English. That's all I can say. So certain words are same in certain languages, like no, presidente, president, you know. But we have different languages because God seen fit. Man was going right back to the old ways again, because we got the blood of Cain in us, right? So we can't help ourselves. People repopulate with their own kinfolk. We call it, you know, incest. But it's been going on since the beginning of time. You see what happened when the angels visited Lot. Remember, Lot had went his separate way. His brother was like, listen, I'm a fair man. Abram was like, I'm a fair man, but we can't live together. Man, I love you, but we can't live together. We kinfolk, but I can't live with you, brother. You gotta go your own way. And I ain't gonna tell you which way to go, bro. I'm gonna let you choose. You can go to the east or you can go to the west. You go to the west, I'm gonna go east. You go east, I'm gonna go west, my nigga. But we got to separate, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because certain people can't live together. You understand what I'm saying? I love certain people, but I can't be around them 24 hours a day because we're gonna end up bumping heads. Because sometimes we too alike. But like I said, if you stay in a small apartment and you got kids and you got people running around, it's too small. You got to get a house. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what happened. They split, and Lot had the first choice. So us having that Cain blood in us, what he chose? He thought it was gonna be sweet over here, because if I go over here, you know what I'm saying, that's what's fucked up over there. But over here got that water. we got a lot of water on this side of the land, so I'm gonna choose this way, big brother. I'm gonna holler at you. He go his way, but not knowing it's full of sodomites and wicked people over here that are against God. But that's what you chose, G. Well, he's a man of God. He's blessed. And when the people came and, took his women, his slaves, and his money and everything, Abram heard about it. Abram ain't got no children. Abram is Abraham, but at that time he's Abram. He ain't got no kids, but that's his kinfolk. He ride for his family. He go get his family back with the people that were born in his house. He doing all these great things, man. He getting old now. Men don't live like they used to in Noah days. They consuming the meat and they partaking in the wickedness of the world now. Self-choice. People are cultivating everything now. So he go get his kinfolk back, but in the process, man, you still got to do your own thing. So you going back and getting your land, you still in a wicked place. So the angels telling Abram, man, Abram talked to God like, man, I'm doing all these good things, and I'm like, what can I do? Like, I ain't got no children. I'm getting old, man. What am I gonna leave my legacy for? I got all this money, all these cars, all these camels, these animals, these girls. I got my wife, she can't have my children. What's up? Who am I lead this to? He said, I'm gonna promise you, however many stars you can count in that sky, that's how many kids I'm gonna be. You're like, man, come on, man. I'm 100 years old. How a 100-year-old man gonna, have some kids? My wife, 90 years old. How she gonna have children, God? You questioning God? But since you laugh, that's gonna be the name of your son, because the name of his first son it translates to laughter. Ain't that wicked? So he said, okay, it is what it is. Sarah hear this. She laughed. She like, man, yeah, all right. But here we go. She has child. Because she had child with her servant, remember? He's like, maybe I need some kids around here, something, you know what I'm saying? At least be your bloodline. Different bloodlines. All right, so here he go. He gets some children now. He getting children from all different types of directions. Lot, in the meantime, is in a city that's wicked. And he sent angels over there to Lot, letting them know, man, you gotta get up out of here. We're gonna destroy this. Abram know about it. Right now, he's Abraham. Abram know about this city. You see what I'm saying? So he asked God for favor, like, man, spare my kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? He said he's gonna destroy the whole city, man. What if there's some good people over there? Well, how many people? What if it's 10 people? All right, if there's 10 good people out there, I won't destroy the city. But there wasn't 10 people out there, but he still found favor in Lot, just like Noah. And he spared him by sending 2 angels. But when he sent them 2 angels over to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The people in the neighborhood seen 2 men walking to Lot's house. So they come banging on the door. Who the men is? Send them outside so we can be intimate with them. Intimate. This is the city of, Sodom and Gomorrah. What intimate means. So Lot comes out the door like, listen, man, I got 2 virgins in the house, man. Like, you don't want them, I'll let you have them. But not the men in my house. These are angels in the flesh form. So they're like, nah, we don't want no women, we don't want no virgins, we want the men. We're gonna bust up in there. So they try to bust up in there, and the angels pull Lot back in the house and struck the man blind. Like, they still want the men in the house. So they come out, the angels come out the house like, listen, we're gonna destroy this town. Because it's wicked. By sundown. And that's what happened. But Lot just did not believe it's his city. That's where he living at now. You know what I'm saying? That's where all he got is his home, his family, his daughter. And you telling me to leave? Just pack up and go right now. A lot of people won't do that. But they grabbed him because God had favor in life and forced him out. But what happened? Just had to look back. Wife Lot was instructed not to look back, but the disobedient nature makes you do things that you know are not right. Because why? We have the blood of Cain in us, and that is called accountability, knowing that you have a wickedness inside you. But it's up to you to control that wicked side. And some people can't control it, but you have to acknowledge it. Acceptance of responsibility, part twice. So, right? She looks back, she turns to salt. But she just couldn't believe that if she looked back, she would die. But that's what happened. So now Abraham, here we go back to Abraham. You know, he still ain't got all the kids he said he was gonna have. So how is he gonna have these kids? God, you said I was gonna have children. I didn't say how he was gonna have them children. So what his daughters do? Abraham getting old. His daughter get him drunk. And one by one seduce their father and birth children that will birth the nation. Both his daughters raped their father for the sake of bloodline. So you got these mixed families, these different families with these intricate, unbalanced. Blood of Cain, blood of Seth, blood of Cain, blood of Seth. The blood of Cain is in all of us. The blood of Seth is in all of us. The first sin and the first 3 curses will continue to affect all of us. So before I get off the live, I'm gonna run down the first sin. That started with Eve. Whatever the sin was, we're not going to dispute that. That's what started it. The second thing that happened was the curse of the snake, for whatever the snake did to Eve. The third thing that happened was the curse of Eve. She had to bear the children, the pain, and she said, and God said she will always try to overtake her husband, but she will always be what? Her husband will always have dominion over her. The fourth curse was on man. Since she fell for whatever it was that he came back, they're not going to specify what she did. You will forever be enmity between each other. And the word enmity, I broke it down in the other lie, is we're going to always go back and forth with each other. Because that's just going to be what we have for each other, enmity. A clash of haters, a difference of opinion. We're 2 different people. We're 2 different people, but we're the same. So we're going to have an enmity, a competition, a disdain, a dislike, a distrust. So when you know all these things, you have to understand that you have to put up with certain things with certain people. And do your homework on who you play down with. So if you decide he has these bad traits, these good traits, you have to homework to do your homework and distinguish like, okay, 10, 15 years down the line with these bad traits affect our relationship. And with these good traits, overpower these bad traits. And what these bad traits can be worked with, and I can put up with these, type of bad traits. You gotta do your homework, because a lot of people don't understand the blood of Cain will always be sexual too. The first sin was sexual. So we're gonna always be concerning ourselves with sex. You have to have sex to reproduce the world. The scientists, the mad scientists, like I say, God knew that the man's mind will be so wicked that anything it can imagine, it will do So now you have scientists and madmen out there trying to create ways to make a child without a man. Because it takes the sperm, it takes the seed to make a child. And it has to go inside of the egg and grow, right? So if you have a woman, like Sarah had a mistress, you know, but if you have a woman that's in love with another woman and she wants a child, she needs the seed, right? So it will always be that seed, but the egg can be duplicated. So you have this guy by the name of Elon Musk, billionaire, owns Twitter, changed it to X. He's coming out with wife robots. And a wife robot is a flesh-like android that can walk and talk. And probably if it's, you know, the more money you spend, you can probably customize it to look like whoever you want to. Flesh-like skin, a vagina, breasts. And the most wicked thing about these robots, they trying to innovate a part on her stomach where it can be hollow, and all you need is your sperm, and it'll develop a baby inside the stomach for 9 months like a regular human being. Do your research, man. Don't act like I'm crazy or saying something wicked. It's wicked. I have to say it, but I'm not saying nothing that I didn't look at and already research. These robots are already in different countries. Bill Clinton did a piece on the White House lawn after they cloned that sheep in 1997. Remember, Bill Clinton was the president. Remember, when he was president in 97, they cloned the sheep. And people in America, you know, in the uproar, like, is this ethical, is this moral? You know, people that always be on that shit. But what they don't know is these same practices are practiced everywhere. Now, you look at Japan, China, all these countries, Russia, you see the war going on right now. They do what they want to do. They're not listening to no America. So the same techniques that we're using, they're using. Remember, we're not the first ones that went to the space. The Russians were, so we ain't the first ones to do anything, know everything. So these same cloning techniques are used in other countries. And same as androids and robotics. Who's the #1 robotics? Japan, right? All these Oriental countries. They have factories in Korea and all these other countries already with robots taking over the humans' jobs. So slowly but surely they have some in America, like some warehouses have robots where it doesn't, you don't need humans to do it, and they're efficient. You don't have to worry about them taking breaks, smoking, and talking about their boyfriend or their girlfriend, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, sports. Because they're not programmed to do, they're programmed to work. So maybe in 10, maybe 20 more years, man, where y'all niggas won't work at. What you gonna teach your children to go study in school? You better teach your kids to go study technology and how to work on machinery, because they're gonna need somebody to fix on the robots in the future. Those are gonna be the only jobs. Other than that, you're gonna see what's been going on in the news, where people run into stores with grocery baskets full of food and try to run out and put it in their trunks without getting caught. And it's gonna be like The Walking Dead minus the zombies. But oh wait, the zombies are the junkies. But you're gonna be able to walk by $100,000 on the side of the road, and that means nothing but something to warm you up in the wintertime. Because the money is already turning digital, and everything's going on Cash App, Zelle, and going to hell. Man. You know, pretty soon, Cash Money records will be out of business. This Cash Money will be extinct, just like the so-called real nigga. Yeah, they're making them extinct now. You know, it used to be the Black Revolutionary. You got you meaning no Black Revolutionary. Remember the old niggas used to wear the overalls with chopped wood in the ghettos in the black neighborhood? You got them in the white neighborhood. Because they know you got to be able to survive off the land. They killing them niggas off. And now the so-called real niggas, they next. Niggas like me, back in the 60s and 70s, they say the revolution will not be televised. I understand, because you tell them the truth, boy, they gonna get you off the air. They already took one of my channels. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm proud to be a black man in America, because that means we survived the passage. We survived the passage, y'all. And we were the cream of the crop, because they saved us for America. The most elite were in America. Yeah, man, be proud of what you are, man. Even though you got to take the good and the bad. Yeah, you a slave. You were picked from Africa for a reason. And if you survive that boat ride, man, boy, you a bad joker. They say all the tough guys went to Jamaica and the Caribbean. Nah, man. Tough guys won the smart guys, remember? And the niggas that was smart laid back in the cut. Seen that the niggas that was doing, you know what I'm saying, the killing and jumping off the side of the boat, they didn't want to go, you know what I'm saying, be slaves. Like, man, what I'm gonna die for? I got a family, I got my girl over there, trying to see what the fuck going on, see what this boat ride takes. I'm one of them niggas, man. Now, if the revolution happened and the whole boat revolted, and I ain't had no choice but to fight, you goddamn right, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna kill as many as I can, because I had no choice. But one man jumping off the side of the boat, I'm not gonna do that. And you wonder why the sharks follow that path all the way from Africa to America. Because that's the slave boat ride. And they was throwing niggas off the boat, and niggas was jumping off the boat. They don't talk about the slavery boats and the boats that were taken over. They only talk about when the people died in the bottom of the boat, they throw them off and make them shark food. You know, what about the Pirates of the Caribbean? When the niggas took over the ships, the real Pirates of the Caribbean. In the movies, they all Pirates of the European. You got African warriors, man, that was on these boats, devising plans to take over ships and kill all the Europeans that got them captive down there. Some of these things were successful. But when you couldn't get the opportunity to do that, and you were smart enough to know that these fire sticks, when you became national, you become a smart nigga. And the smart niggas made it to America. The most healthiest and the most smartest made it to America. So if you survived the passage, whether you got dropped off in the Caribbeans or not, or made it to America, for the cream of the crop, man, you a bad motherfucker, man. And you got a lot of Africans that look down on the black Americans, man. And I understand why, because look how we live. Look how we live, man. We don't respect nothing no more. Everybody say they don't give a beep. I don't give a beep about nothing. I don't care. What? Don't nobody care no more. You can't say good morning. You can't say how you doing. You can't say, oh man, I like that cologne. You can't say, oh man, you smell good. What's that perfume? You can't say none of that. You can't say, I like the clothes you wear, man. You can't compliment no women no more. They gonna get hot. Like, what? What you mean I look good? You know what I'm saying? So, well, you just trying to have sex. Yeah, but I'm trying to be nice about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be nice about it. Say things that make you smile. I mean, the blood of Cain is in all of us, but we have a choice to suppress that. You have a choice to be good or bad. You have millionaires out there that walk into stores and steal. And can afford to buy everybody groceries and they're still going in and trying to person in the purse that they brought. It's the thrill. You want to jump off a bridge and bungee jump. It's the thrill. Yeah, my bucket list. Before I die, I want to parachute out the fucking airplane. If the parachute breaks, fuck it, it's over with anyway. That's the bucket list. I'm at the end of the road. Blood of Cain, man. But I'm just trying to change my ways, because I know that everything happens for a reason, man. And the reason I'm reading the scriptures because they wonderful stories, but you have to know that Abraham was able at birth and did not have children and birthed the nation. But the way he birthed the nation, the way his daughters birthed the nation, you have to wonder why. It's not talked about, but it's accepted in the Bible, and he is a prophet, and is considered one of the greatest men in the Bible. Even though he birthed the nation through his daughter. Y'all think about that, man. Hit the like button. Hit the cash app, PARTTWICE, PARTTWICE. I'm still trying to, get understanding with my child's mother because I love that baby, man. I'm about to get off live, try to call and see if I can go see the baby today. But man, we need a little more money in the station. We need more subscribers to the vibe. We need more like buttons being punched. I punch all you YouTubers like buttons every time I hear something I like. Some of you guys, I press it automatically because I know every time I tune in, y'all talking on the same level as me. You know what I'm saying? But I get everybody that just do boxing say, because I know if it's a topic that catches my eye, I'm gonna reach out and because I seek knowledge. I'm a knowledge seeker, so I'm gonna always seek knowledge. And like they said to Farrakhan, you're a Muslim, so why you're reading in the Bible? They say, man, my people are in this Bible. Y'all took scriptures from ancient scribes, man, and remixed and made you guys Bible. But by doing it, you put my people in your Bible. So I have to study the Bible. I have to study the Quran. I have to study Judaism. I have to study Judaism. I have to study Buddhism. I have to study everything what my people is, just to make sure it's accurate and make sure you're not telling no lies about my people, because they don't want you to talk about your people, and they don't want you to know who your people are, even though we're all the same people. But it's all about chronological order with me. It's all about the original, man, with me. And why don't you want us to know who we are? If you want a certain group of people to never forget a certain incident in their life, you have to respect my people to want you to remember a certain part of our lives. And our lives start in the Bible, in the beginning of the Bible, not slavery, because there were always slaves. Every nation started from slavery because you had to work to eat. You're still a slave. Just because they freed you from European style of slavery, they only converted you into a new modern type of slavery. If you work for a job, you're only working to pay for housing, clothing, and your transportation and your food. You have to get a little extra for the extra amenities in life, like gas and downtime that master used to give you so you can buy your few trinkets and give it back to Uncle Sam. But when you were a slave, all you got were food, clothing, housing, your horse was your transportation, and a little free time, your anonymity. Niggas on Sundays, y'all can go play horseshoe or whatever little games y'all brought from Africa. I like how y'all be throwing that little ball in the basket. I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna fix it up and spruce it up a little bit better. What them boys out there doing? We can fight and beat that boy ass and make some money off this shit. What they over there doing, dancing and singing and shit? That shit time. I can't get the rhythm. Hey boy, come here. Come on, do that over here for me and these boys over here. I like that. How you do that? Don't y'all keep admitting and shit. You trying to make y'all work hard. Why you keep making it easy on y'all? What that is you sweeping on the floor? What you made, a broom? A broom? What is a broom? Like, it is. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna steal this invention. Years go on, man. You got black men inventing cell phones with telephones back then. But who took the credit for it? Hey man, call me on my next show. I'm gonna have a number up, man. We're gonna talk about black inventors. But you know the vibe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey man, listen to my new song, man. Change My Ways, man.
So if I die today, it's okay.
I'm probably gonna drop this song today. Matter of fact, yeah, I am. But y'all hit the like button, man. You know, support the Cash App PARTTWICE, man. Never nice, baby, for real though. You play the song right, go give me something to eat, man. Lip drop. I'm drinking coffee. I done cleaned up early. You see my house clean. I ain't never going to stay. Love y'all, man. Bible study every Sunday, man.
But I need you, Lord, once again. Be there for my falling friend. You know the Lord.
Lord, change my ways.
Gee, I think we got one.
So if I die,
I ain't finna tell y'all how I got away with this shit.
Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord, change my way. So if I die today, it's okay. Times get really hard, and I try to let me plead my heart when I die. I need you, Lord, is my friend. That will forgive me for my same old sins. But I need you, Lord, once again. Be there for my falling friend. You know the Lord always wins. Number one. I bet my very last on Him and win. But then there is all kinds of sin. Temptation in us all within. Times get really hard, and I try.
come on.
So let me plead my heart when I die. I need you. Let me plead the blood. I was a thug, spent half of my life trying to make it out the mud. My heart laced with grub, hard drugs and sentence, grinning in the police face, serving the sentence. Inches away from doing hard time, but if you think I care, I knew the Lord was gonna get a nigga out of there. I took the crime from the prime, started singing my song, got everybody singing along. Cause you know that times get really hard, and I try. Let me plead my heart when I die. Lord, change my way.
Lord help.
So if I die today, it's okay. I need you, Lord.